can I talk to you?
What's going on, baby? You hungry? I didn't know you was coming up here.
My son been bullying my son by his clothes and shoes. You know, I'm a single parent.
No, you come on. What's going on? You bullying him?
No, I don't know him.
You're lying. Y'all go to school together?
Yeah.
At school?
He was bullying me.
What did he say, baby?
He talking about my clothes and saying how dirty my clothes is, knowing I don't have that much clothes at home.
And I'm a single parent. I do the best I can, you know. There's no reason for him to be bullying my child.
And I don't raise him to be that way, because we come from the struggle. He know that. I come from the struggle. So you don't ever pick at nobody. I done told you about that. So what you gonna do since you want to bully him and talk about his shoes, take off them shoes and give him them $300 Jordans I brought. Take them off. I don't take them off and give them to him right now. I'm not playing. Give them to him. Now take off your shoes, baby. Take off your shoes and give them them. I just give him now. It don't matter. You don't know what this baby been through. You don't pick at nobody. Give him them shoes. I don't give a damn. Give him them shoes. And now you going to wear them tomorrow to school so people can pick at you. You going to wear them tomorrow. You going to wear them. I'm sorry, because I don't raise him like that.
I'm just wear my other ones.
No, you ain't when you going to wear them. Get them. Get them right now. Get them. And if he say anything else to you, baby, you don't hesitate to come over here. And I got something for you. I'm going to give you some of his clothes, too. Hold on, I'll be back. I got to give you go just for bullying people. Now go on. Go on in the house. You want to bully people? You ain't the best. You don't have, we done been through hell and back. And I ain't raised you to be that way. We come from the project, from being homeless to Section 8, all that. And now we done finally got something. You don't pick at people.
That's right.
Because we can go back there one day. Now go on in the house. I'm going to give you some clothes. And you ever tell them sorry.
I'm sorry.
And you better mean it. Now come on, you ain't getting them shoes back. You hold on, I'm gonna give you some stuff. Thank y'all, hold on.
Why you gotta get my clothes?
You go in the house, because you ain't going with me.
This is the youngest woman ever put on death row in the history of the United States, and her story is absolutely crazy. So this woman's name is Krista Pike. This story involves devil worshipping, jealousy, some of the worst things you could imagine. All of them are mixed in with this story. Krista was only 18 years old. She was dating this guy named Tadero Ship. Tadero Ship was only 17 years old. But he was like really abusive to this girl, manipulative, and he cheated on her all the time. There was actually this other girl named Colleen Slimmer. Colleen was 19, girl that Tadero cheated on her with. She came up with this plan with her friend Shadala Peterson to lure Colleen out in these woods. While they were there, it's reported that for over 30 minutes, they tortured this girl. They carved a pentagram into her chest, beat her profusely, and then after a while, Krista picks up this giant rock and bashes her head in. After that was done, she takes a piece of her skull and keeps it for herself.
Why?
She then takes it and starts showing it around to everybody.
That's insane.
Within 36 hours, they are arrested. Krista ends up confessing to the murder. Tadero ends up getting life in prison with the possibility of parole because he's only 17 years old. Shadala ends up getting probation. Krista ends up getting the book thrown at her. She ends up getting the death penalty. A lot of people argue that the death penalty just is not what's needed here. Some people argue it is. If the death penalty was to happen, it should happen for something like this. Just one of those stories that's so...
So they're now talking about opening up brothels for illegal immigrants. Watch this.
The obvious thing that 1,200 young men are going to need in the middle of a village like Little Piddington is a brothel.
Could it honestly get any worse at this point? They're going to dump 1,200 male migrants into a tiny village in Oxfordshire with a population of like 350 people. And they're worried that these migrants are going to end up raping all the girls in this little village. Well, maybe just deport them. But instead of deporting them, they're going to set up tax-funded brothels for illegal migrants who have invaded our country. And they're worried that they're going to rape everyone. So instead of deporting the threat, they're going to try to neutralise the threat by using taxpayers' money to set up brown brothels for these illegal invaders to have their way with some prostitute instead of raping girls like they usually do. And who's to say this is even going to be an effective solution? I mean, they're probably still going to rape, but they're going to have prostitutes on the side.
See, NBA stands for nothing but actors. Like I tell people this all the time, you have our disagreements, but in real life, it's not like I'm going to, have an argument with you with your family. Like it's just like it's always Uncle Shaq.
They always tell you exactly what's up, and the fact that Shaq and Kobe, when he was around, had this interview a while back, and Shaq saying that the NBA stands for nothing but actors. I mean, he is telling you without telling you exactly what is going on in the NBA and how the NBA is no different than the WWE. And if anyone knows what exactly is up in the NBA, the Nothing But Actors League, it would be somebody like Shaq. And again, this wasn't the first time that he has said something like this right here when it comes to the NBA being scripted.
Are your rings real?
No,
Oh. So it was scripted. You knew you was getting them.
of course.
Okay, hold on a second. Are you aware of the connections between Apple computers, iPhone, etc., and the Bible? Now, I'm a guy who doesn't really think coincidences are much of a thing, and so if this is not a coincidence, then what are they trying to tell us here? Listen to this. The first Apple computer, Apple I or Apple I, was released in July 1976, and it sold for $666.66. Now, that alone is interesting because we know that to be the mark of the bloop. So that's a little bit strange. But it goes even further. In the Garden of Eden, Eve was tempted to take a bite from the forbidden fruit. And she did take a bite of the forbidden fruit, and then we know what happened next. Well, don't you think it's also interesting that we have the first Apple computer selling for $666, and then we have the iPhone, which has a fruit with a bite out of it, a literal apple with a bite out of it. And then we have the fact that Siri, spelled backwards, is Iris, which is a Greek god, which acted as a divine link connecting heaven, earth, and the deep sea or underworld. Well, we know that our phones are connecting us all over the place. The whole wide world's connected through them. We also know that we have basically, I mean, if all of our phones have these cameras that are pointing at our faces, is that an all-seeing eye that's happening? And then we also have the walled garden ecosystem. The Garden of Eden was a pristine, perfect paradise designed by God with strict boundaries and one major rule. The iOS ecosystem, Apple's strict control over its software and app store, is famously referred to in tech as a walled garden. Inside the Apple garden, everything is safe, clean, and perfectly curated. If a user tries to break the rules by jailbreaking their phones, they are effectively cast out of Apple's official protection and software ecosystem. Again, this could be nothing, but this is quite the strange coincidence. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and follow from.
You miss playing basketball still ever? No, never. Playing against these cupcakes. I think that's a good way to wrap this. They're all cupcakes. Real, listen, tweeted it to real with Facebook, and I said it. They're all cupcakes, man.
That guy asked him, do you miss playing basketball? He said, never. Not against these cupcakes. Shut up! What does he mean by that? Maybe Shaq knows something that we don't know. I mean, Shaq is still involved in the NBA, so he would know something we don't know. Shut up! Something is going on here, guys, and I don't know why he would say such a thing, right? He said that he doesn't regret playing basketball. He doesn't miss playing basketball because allegedly all the people that are playing basketball right now are cupcakes, whatever that means. Maybe he's talking about cupcakes at the bakery, right? Maybe that's what he's talking about because I like cupcakes. I eat cupcakes every now and then. Shut up! Shaq said it. And he said to tell everybody. He doesn't care. He said, let everybody know. One thing I do know is that this video is for entertainment purposes only, man. Shaq is just playing around. I don't know why he would say not against these cupcakes. These are professional basketball players. Shaq knows that it's scripted. Let me know if you know that it's scripted because you still think that it's real, allegedly. I'm out.
Different faces, but the same old fight. Looking for peace in the middle of the night. We smile outside, we hide the scars, but we all look up at the same stars. Deep inside, we all feel the same. A silent hope inside the pain. No matter how far, no matter how near, we break, we heal, we're still here.
Please tell me y'all have seen these photos that this underwater drone captured that have been released to the public of this unknown creature that looks a lot like a human. And people are saying that this is a mermaid. Apparently it was captured in a crevasse in the ocean. Now it was only in frame for a couple of seconds, but whatever this thing is has a human-like nose, lips like a human, a facial structure, and huge eyes. And it is creepy as fuck. If the ocean wasn't creepy enough, Now, many people are saying that this is a mermaid or a siren. Here's the side profile of it. You can see like almost like nostrils, but why would it need nostrils if it's in the ocean? Unless it also breathes air like a dolphin. The video was just captured as it floated by this thing. And apparently when it went back, it was gone. But whatever this thing is, sat completely still and didn't even look at it when it went by. Like it was trying to go unnoticed. Do you guys think this is real?
Here's the thing about the Rothschilds that get me. Do I think they're just a crazy lizard people? I don't think that. I do find it curious that they're mentioned over 12,000 times in the Epstein library. Very curious. I find it interesting that Trump, Dershowitz, Clinton, Prince Andrew were all introduced to Epstein by a Rothschild. And the other thing too is the Rothschild that interconnected all these webs. There's actually a video.
The most interesting email is this connection of the House of Rothschild to Jeffrey Epstein. Edmond de Rothschild at the time was facing a problem with the Department of Justice. The Department of Justice was alleging that the bank in Switzerland was helping wealthy Americans dodge taxes. So what they decide is that they'll pay a fine. Now, to negotiate that settlement, they hire two individuals, Kathy Rumler and Jeffrey Epstein. Epstein was paid $25 million to broker that deal. Again, I'm from Washington. There are 10 law firms which you hire. You don't hire Jeffrey Epstein unless you're hiring him for a reason. 25.
A mother had recently shared a clip that freaked her out after noticing what was in it. One day, while looking at her security cameras, Adrienne Dakota notices something inside her living room, but more specifically, around her child's playpen. She wasn't sure as to what she was seeing, so she zooms in and replays the video to check. It goes without saying, but what she saw continues to keep her up at night. Now, it's important to note that before this incident, Adrienne had already been documenting strange things around her house, and for some reason, these occurrences had something to do with her children's toys. Now, it might be easy to write this off as being just a glitch or a toy that's starting to malfunction, but what's strange is that this was happening day after day, one toy turning on after another. And that's without mentioning that during this time, Adrienne's daughter had an imaginary friend who she said was very tall. Now, keep this imaginary friend in mind because this detail becomes important much later in the video she recently posted. The reason why she was so freaked out by the toys turning on was because prior to this, her daughter kept mentioning this imaginary friend. And apparently, this so-called friend would show up in places where her daughter said it was, usually inside the house, near the toys. Adrienne was so frightened by this, but more so by this video, because according to her, while taking care of her second child in another room, something terrifying appears in her living room. This is what she caught. To Adrienne, it appears that someone or something peeks out from behind her baby's playpen. Thankfully, her child wasn't in there during this moment, but strangely, even though no baby was occupying it, the figure itself looks like one. Whether it's just pareidolia or not, it's obvious that something is there. Considering that a bowl just fell off the shelf with no apparent cause, Adrienne can't help but wonder if whatever this was had been responsible for the other occurrences before. It is strange how each occurrence involves one of her children's things. Whether it's their toys or their small play enclosure, something unexplainable happens around them. This, of course, brings up the question, could this have been the supposed imaginary friend her daughter had previously mentioned? Or might this be something else entirely? Currently, and unfortunately, there is yet to be a definitive answer to this question.
What do you think about GLP-1? The trouble seemingly that we have now, people don't want to come off of it. What I'm starting to see is at higher dose, people are experiencing anhedonia. They're coming back and they don't find pleasure anymore. They don't enjoy sex. Tequila doesn't taste good. They're just not as satisfied. And so I think it's showing that it doesn't just work on the food pathways, it's working on pleasure pathways. The way they work is it's a signaling molecule. So it's slowing down gastric emptying. So your food, as it goes through your stomach and your digestive tract, is going to be slowed down. So you're going to feel full faster. As you feel full faster, you're not going to eat as much. If you don't eat as much, you're going to lose weight, but you're going to do so when you're not going to feel cranky. If we're using low dose and we're checking in and we're monitoring, we really don't see a lot of side effects.
Home Depot becomes the latest corporation that has a lot of explaining to do. And why do I say that? Because a potential customer that was on the Home Depot app looking to purchase some kitchen cabinets noticed that both in-store pickup and delivery were free. But the only problem was when you select delivery, the price of the cabinets increased. You heard what I said. The prices are changing in the app when you select delivery. Have a look at this video for yourself.
This is crazy.
Listen.
What's going on? So I'm trying to order the cabinets, and it says, look, it says pickup is free and delivery is free.
See that, right?
Right? Look at the total. We're ordering a bunch of cabinets. Then when I switch to delivery, it changes the price.
Look at that.
The price of the item goes up.
Weird.
It says it's free. So they're lying.
Well, in case you didn't catch it because she moved so quickly, take a look right there. Pickup today is free. Delivery on August 13th is also free. And as you can see from here, when you select pickup, the price of the item is $258 for the cabinet. And then if you choose to have it delivered for free, the price of the cabinet jumps to $314.10. It's becoming more and more insane what's actually going on with these apps, especially when you're using them. You really need to pay close attention because when she added the cabinet, the price was the price. And on the bottom, as you saw, it said free for in-store pickup or free for delivery. So why, when she puts in delivery, is the price of the cabinet going up so much? So once again, another pricing scandal that you need to be aware of, the Home Depot app. The next time you want to order something, make sure the price is still the same. Or go into the store and ask them why the price is higher when delivery is free and so is in-store pickup. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Has everyone seen this shit? Have a look.
Traditional home build takes months. These took just 20 days.
Here we go, can't wait to hear this.
From slab to turnkey.
The moisture content wouldn't even be out of that slab in 20 days.
I don't think anyone would be able to tell any difference because there isn't any.
Tell you who can't tell the difference? Stevie fucking Wonder, that's who.
These prefabricated module homes have gone up in Truganina.
I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Truganina.
They're part of Metricon's pilot program.
The only thing Metricon should be piloting is a plane to take their shit trades back to where the fuck they came from.
Almost everything except the slab was made in China.
Of course it fucking was.
The panels are created in a factory.
Factory or some kind of construction sweatshop.
Shipped to Australia in a flat pack, craned into position like Lego.
Can anyone tell me where to buy a crane for my Lego?
It all comes together in a matter of days.
Because that's not a recipe for disaster, is it?
Amazingly, within 4 days of those containers arriving, we'll go from a finished slab to a completely locked up home.
Is anyone believing this shit?
So you can have a shower within 4 days of slab being completed using this methodology.
Methodology? That's a fancy way of saying we're not going to warrant any issues that arise.
It costs about the same as traditional building.
We can give you all these benefits, but it's going to cost the fucking same.
But it's much faster.
I fucking hate this so much.
Australia is currently more than 112,000 homes short of its target.
We're not short of homes, we're short of good fucking tradesmen is what we're short of.
Of 1.2 million by mid-2029.
Face coming down trying to prevent the layup, but that is just a hard hit. That's definitely going to be upgraded, I think, to a flagrant 2, Ryan.
I think that is going to be a flagrant 2. There is wind up, there is follow through, there's potential for injury.
Without
Sophie
question.
Cunningham in a vulnerable position in the air.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question why.
Honor, morals, and ethics are a masculine trait in that women don't possess these naturally.
Yeah.
They don't possess nobility, character, honor, morality. I've often said, left to their own devices, which we do see happening in real time, left to their own devices, women will always gravitate towards what's evil, chaotic, wrong, destructive, antisocial, whereas men will, even if they're bad, we'll try to gravitate towards what's good or righteous.
And learn from your mistakes.
Right.
And try to be better.
And just try to be better.
Yeah.
Because we're held accountable.
And I think it starts pretty young. I don't know how young, but I saw an 11-year-old girl and she called the cops and said she was kidnapped. She was just lying and she made it up as a joke. Right. But all of the cops came in.
Showed up.
And the dad, I mean, it actually gave me hope because the dad actually said arrest her. Like, yeah. No, because how many dads would simp out? Because she started to blame her little brother, who was like 6. And I'm like, this 11-year-old is already blaming the guy, and she's already lying to police. And
Where is she learning this from, though, Mom?
Okay, hold on a second. This image is hiding something in plain sight, which maybe 1% of people will get right off the hop, but the rest of you, it will take a while. I didn't notice until someone pointed it out. We have a picture of a truck that clearly ran over this camera. Except, how do we have this image? Except because there's another camera pointed at this camera. So that picture was taken in Pismo Beach, California, which I didn't know where was, but it's in between San Francisco and Los Angeles, in this little town tucked in between these mountains, and a 40-year-old man got in big trouble for running over that camera. The thing is, though, this is what people do, is they'll put a camera up at the end of their driveway, but then they'll have a camera pointed at that camera. So if anyone tries to disable the camera, they're already caught on camera. This is a main common thing. But the fact they're doing it for those types of cameras makes you wonder. And they're finding out that there's certain cactuses along certain highways that look like a cactus, but actually it's that special secret type of camera hidden into the fake plastic or metal cactus thing. So it turns out video surveillance in the US is on par with China. Now we all know China, oh my gosh, they have millions of facial recognition cameras. This is crazy. But the same type of infrastructure is being put up here. And of course, this is all about safety and security, and you're going to be so safe soon because there's cameras in your house, on the streets, in your car, pointed at your forehead. Everywhere you go will be so safe. Now, the thing is, if you ask a lion how it would prefer to live, inside of a cage with food and water provided and completely safe, or in the wild savannah, dangerously dangerous, nothing's free and provided, he's going to have to find that water and find that food. I think we know what way the lion would prefer to live. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Are you feeling safe now? And follow for more.
Fresh bag of chips, unopened, let's get it. I love the military. In fact, there is absolutely no way it's going to be used against us in the end times. Oh, breathe. Why was a military organization known as DARPA using a software called LifeLog that ended on the same day that Facebook was created? Oh my gosh. What the? Aaron? Get down! Wait a minute. You mean to tell me that on February 4th, 2004, LifeLog, military, organization shut down on February 4th, 2004, and then Facebook came out on the same day? In fact, Saucy Santana. I told you, these people are all working for the freaking government. See, it says, as the days of Noah, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. That means before the flood, there was a bunch of Nephilim and gene splicing going on. And then we have Quiet on the Creek. Yeah. Talk about diddling with kids and merging between Baphomet, half goat, half what?
The question is, how is it affecting detrimentally somebody else?
So let me tell you, if a man is kissing another man and somebody else sees it outside, because our culture frowns on it, what will happen? If you are not careful, that man will stone you, the two of you. But so to prevent that, we said, let there be a law, so that nobody will see you, doing something against the cultural norm of the society.
But our culture is that way? Is that enough of a reason?
Yes, of course.
Why isn't there the education of those people who would want to stone somebody who's gay into understanding they're just the same as anybody else?
Don't our culture also? Why don't they respect our culture? If you want to be gay forever. Don't bring it to our society.
All right, folks, let's talk about the fact that we don't see bugs anymore. And at this point, I don't even hear bugs anymore. There's a few things that really brought it to my attention, but the main thing is people who live in higher elevation, mid-May through late June, know that miller moths are everywhere. They're in every single corner of your house. In the last couple years, they have not been. There seems to still be ticks and mosquitoes, which is a different conversation altogether that I can't really get into right now, but I might in the future. But I don't hear crickets, I don't hear any bugs at night, and to be honest with you, I hardly hear any birds now. I remember waking up in the morning to go to work and hearing birds chirp all over the place, and now it's just kind of quiet. I still see birds, which could be surveillance if you're one of those people. But as far as that, beautiful morning bird chirping, I don't hear that anymore. And people from the south, are you seeing June bugs now? I remember being a little country kid, and you couldn't go outside at night without getting absolutely swarmed and bombarded by them. If we think about this scientifically, it could be pesticides or habitat loss or even just light pollution. But I don't see bugs like at all anymore. So am I losing my mind? Am I the only one, or are all of y'all losing your minds at the same time and you're not seeing them?
And I think Puffy would say, man, you gotta chill, like you just a little bit too intense. You gotta relax. Like, yo man, I'm here to work, man. I ain't sang in a week. I'm 13 years old. I'm not here to party with you. I don't want to go to the clubs. Matter of fact, I'm too young to even be in here. Why you got me in clubs? As a result of being around that man, Sean Puffy Combs, I don't sleep to this day. I have a problem sleeping to this day.
Conspiracies are a lack of answers. You can't tell me that it's normal for a man to survive an assassination attempt and shut down the investigation into his own assassination attempt. Trump can't make that make sense.
Is it him blocking it, or is it the FBI?
If Tucker is to be believed, you can decide whether you believe Tucker or whether you believe Dan Bongino. But he came undone when Tucker revealed the conversation they had, and Tucker seemed to be telling the truth that Dan said Trump blocked it personally. That's reflected even in what Don Trump Jr. said. He said, my dad is satisfied with the investigation. I'm not, and I'm going to leave it there. So clearly the directive had gone out from Trump that no more talk about Butler. You survived an assassination attempt. You're now #1 in charge of the country.
I have no idea why you wouldn't want to know who's trying to kill you.
Make that make sense.
Watch this famous Hollywood actor slip up and tell us what he really has for breakfast.
Weird. I like to put frozen organ meats in smoothie. Yeah. Weird. I like to put frozen organ meats in smoothie. Yeah.
He never really specified what organ he likes to eat. A very weird statement. With everything circulating on the internet about these people and the things that they do, it's safe to say that this hasn't aged well. Look, we can only speculate, but I've heard this same statement from these same people in that clique, in that circle of elite, saying the same thing, and I've also read certain emails that reinforces the idea of what I think he's talking about in this video. I know what I mean, and they definitely know what we think we mean. So why say things like that? Why not be specific and tell us exactly what you mean? Why is it always like this with these people? There's something strange going on in Tinseltown.
Is it possible that doppelgangers are actually real? A man posted this clip and said it was the scariest moment of his life. That night, he was driving home late and stopped at a gas station to fill up and grab some breakfast. After he finished, he got back into his car and was about to leave when a woman suddenly walked straight up to his car door. He turned to look and couldn't believe what he was seeing. It was his wife. But there was one problem. His real wife was at home. So who was this woman and why was she at the gas station in the middle of the night? The woman started knocking on his window and begging him to let her inside. He almost unlocked the door but stopped and decided to call his real wife first, just to make sure. She answered immediately and said she was at home. Meanwhile, the woman who looked exactly like her was still staring at him through the car window. He said it was the scariest moment of his life, to the point that he thought he was losing his mind. He pulled out his phone and recorded the woman as evidence before starting the car and driving away from the gas station. When he finally got home, he showed the video to his wife. She was stunned because the woman in the footage looked so much like her that it was almost impossible to tell them apart. What do you think he really saw that night?
Chaos and mayhem are just a couple of words that can be used to describe what's going on in Indiana. And why is no one talking about it? Parts of Indiana currently have no gas, no electricity, and roads completely jammed up. Have a listen to this for yourself.
It's like a horror movie out here. We've got helicopters everywhere. The roads are parking lots. It's like we're all trying to exit town and there's no gas, no power, nowhere to go. We're stuck. The car is officially off, no gas. It's hot, we've got all the doors open. And Admir's annoyed, so I'm gonna stop updating you guys. He wants me to sit here in hot silence and just burn up and do nothing.
And you heard exactly what that woman just said in the video. They have no gas, no electricity, lines of cars stranded everywhere, and scenes like this playing out all across Indiana. And residents are also being urged to stay away from gas stations due to the fact that there is no gas. And some individuals were pictured right here rationing gas and putting it into containers and then into their vehicles. And Googling what happened in Indiana after storms struck, most local gas stations lost the ability to pump fuel because they lacked backup generators. Open gas stations saw massive lines stretching over half a mile as residents tried to fill vehicles and home generators. And according to this right here, over 260,000 customers lost power, which shut down local gas station pumps, emptied grocery shelves, and left stranded residents waiting hours in long lines for fuel and generators. And as scary as this sounds and looks, everyone should pay attention to this, because if it can happen here, where else could it happen in the event of another emergency? And once again, the bottom line here is it's completely crazy to believe and try to comprehend that a state in the United States is currently without electricity or fuel, and people are rationing, and lines are insane. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Me and my wife got a water filtration system 3 or 4 years ago. It goes through this clear thing first. It used to take a couple of months for it to get like nasty looking. It's like 2-3 weeks now. The tank is brown.
And if you think about it, there's chlorines and fluorines and bromines, there's heavy metals, there's pharmaceuticals, right? Like, where does it go? Where people excrete all these pharmaceuticals they're taking into our water supply. There's fluoride. I mean, there's so much junk and toxins and pesticides, glyphosate. It's all in there. I don't ever drink tap water. People need to filter their water, but then you got to remineralize the water. You can make an argument that the decline of the human population over the last 60 years mirrors the loss of minerals from the soil.
So this guy, he exposes what they're doing with the cans. You know how you can go to Coca-Cola and customize your can, right?
Right.
So what he found out is that you go to the site, create like a little custom can on the front, like a little saying. He types in, "Satan is king." It goes.
Why would you do that?
Then he types, "Jesus is king." Doesn't go through. They don't allow it. So it's weird that they're allowing that, right? Now he did more investigation. This is crazy.
Either it's deliberate, or these motherfuckers that are at the top running all this shit, either they don't give a fuck anymore.
They don't.
Or they're doing it as a form of guerrilla marketing, and they know people are going to talk about it.
It could be.
It's both.
But there's more. So look, he says
like
that
a
he
prick.
tried to put in PDF file pride. That works. Satanic pride. That works. Then he tried to put white pride, black pride. That doesn't work. Democrats suck. Was rejected. But Republicans, it's okay to say it.
Where Republicans suck, you can say.
Yeah.
Have you seen Satyrus? It's a robot, 4 legs, just like a centaur, and you can attach a chainsaw to it. It has horns and shit.
Yeah.
Looks like balls.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is what I mean. So these corporations, right? These faceless corporations. This is why personal branding is so key, because we know who's behind what. These corporations that are faceless, we don't know who's behind them. A lot of them are publicly traded. Who's at the helm of these faceless corporations, because they play musical chairs, right? So why would they allow that? There's some kind of quality control behind this. This is a multi-billion-dollar corporation, and this flies?
What's the shit you're not showing me? Because I feel like y'all like, oh, look over here, look over here. Nah, what the fuck is behind your back, my guy?
Have we forgotten that Coca-Cola used to actually have Coke in it?
Nobody knows this. You know they used to actually put cocaine in this bitch?
But you know what's even crazy? Even back then, it was a lot better versus what it is now. Think about it.
The purists.
Well, think about it. I'm not condoning drug use, you guys. Obviously,
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. But from what it was to what it is now, they've they've done tests. You can clean your toilet with Coca-Cola.
You can clean your drain, your toilet. You ain't gotta buy nothing to drain on. Nah, get a can of Coke. That shit will work.
I've seen it. I've seen many videos where they're pouring Coke, but what it does to certain surfaces and whatnot, I'm like, damn, if you're drinking this, imagine what that shit's doing to your inside.
Fuckingyouup.com.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, do you think it's guerrilla marketing, or do you think it, a little bit of both?
They have dog
mixed in
whistles
with guerrilla marketing. That just reminds me too of the whole Balenciaga thing. Remember that whole thing that they did?
with the babies?
Yeah, that,
the ball,
and then the Target thing, the monkey thing. Remember that?
They do that on purpose.
They're doing it like, you guys gotta understand. These people have board meetings with hundreds of people. Before it's live, it has to go through teams of people.
Yeah, many channels.
Like, that's the reality. So it's definitely deliberate. But is the intention marketing, or is it they're just doing magic?
I feel like they meet in a circle and go over this shit. All this shit is a ritual. Y'all motherfuckers ain't at no board meeting.
Y'all butt naked in a circle in the woods.
Okay, hold on a second. We need to talk about wisdom teeth, and I need all of you to chime in on your experience, because it seems like all of us have had a experience with this, but of varying different degrees and different outcomes. So as it turns, the wisdom tooth industry, wisdom teeth removal specifically, is about a $3 billion a year business in the US alone, taking over 10 million teeth out of 5 million people's mouths. Now, what few people know, but many of you probably know because you guys are in the loop, is that our teeth, much like even our fingers, there's something called reflexology, where different teeth have an energetic connection with a different organ or different part of your body. Well, are you wondering what your third molar, aka wisdom teeth, are energetically connected to? So it turns out, according to reflexology, the wisdom teeth are energetically connected to your heart and your endocrine gland, also known as and including your pineal gland. So it has something to do with your third eye, your pineal gland, your hormones. So interesting that all of a sudden there's actually quite a controversy about wisdom teeth removal and the debate over preventative removal. So my experience was, I was told that they x-rayed my face. I'm sure they did the old-fashioned x-ray, which we should be doing the digital one now. That's not as much, you don't got to wear a lead friggin' plate. But anyways, they said your wisdom teeth are going in wrong and we should yank them out. So I said, okay, thanks. And I never went back. I've been to dental hygienists and stuff, but I haven't went back to that dentist. And 3 out of 4 of my molars have grown in completely fine, but one hasn't grown in yet. I don't know why. Maybe one day it will. They do sometimes grow they come out way later. But people and critics point out that many extracted wisdom teeth might never cause active trouble. And therefore, is this multi-billion-dollar a year industry about preventing an unfortunate thing where your teeth grow in wrong? Or is it about this? Now, some holistic dentists believe the number of teeth you have in your head as you age and when you get older actually may have something to do with the length of your lifespan. That's just a complete theory. Of course, you'll say that's quackery and woo, but some people do think that. Now, today's new dentists, who are a little bit more natural, believe in something called palate expansion. And when a child is young, you can put these different things in their mouths that expand their palate to make sure all their teeth have room, and then all their teeth grow in properly, and then you don't need to yank any teeth out, or at least it reduces that. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How was your experience with your wisdom teeth? Do you have all of them? And keep in mind, you could be someone who has all their wisdom teeth yanked out and still be healthier than someone with all their wisdom teeth. It's not like you're totally gimped if you got them yanked out. But this is just an interesting discussion about wisdom teeth and our teeth and meridian points and reflexology. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
If you hate ads, Sony owns a patent that will make YouTube's 2-minute unskippables feel like a blessing. And in 2021, that patent was genuinely granted. In 2009, Sony, the guys that brought us the Walkman, TVs, speakers, and of course PlayStation, submitted this US patent right here, officially known as System for Converting Television Commercials into Interactive Networked Video Games, which does a great job of downplaying what it could really be used for. Its main goal is to put an end to commercials running in the background that nobody pays attention to and instead force people to actively partake in them. It works a little something like this. Say you're watching a movie, a TV show, or any sort of content online, and a video ad for McDonald's pops up as usual. The only difference is it's interactive, with an on-screen display reading something like, say McDonald's to end this commercial. You then yell McDonald's out loud and your voice is captured by your TV's microphone, which, by the way, every modern TV actually has a built-in mic if you didn't know. The ad's voice recognition then registers your response and ends the commercial, and only then you can go back to watching your brain rot. Sounds fairly innocent at first, but that's not the entire story, because this patent permits the advertisement to prompt the user to perform any sort of action in the real world in order to end the ad, which means no more going to the washroom or the kitchen or zoning out on your phone when an ad plays, now you are the ad. This is part of a larger system meant to create a new era of interactive commercials that play more like mini video games. There's this other example that speeds up the ad if you throw in a pickle into the on-screen burger, one where the user has to interact with some cup on a table, not sure what the context here is, or this other one where the viewer is required to drive a Domino's pizza delivery car through a course in order to end the ad. And there's even an example of a multiplayer ad that can be played with other viewers remotely. Okay, that one actually sounds kind of cool. To be honest, they all sound kind of cool in theory and probably would be fun as a first-time novelty, but I can guarantee you this would get old and annoying real quick, on top of essentially turning us into walking talking ads for these companies when we're just trying to watch our show. Before you know it, we'll be missing the days that we just have to click skip instead of being forced to yell or deliver pizzas in the middle of watching our videos. For now, Sony has no plans to put this patent into place, but they own it, it's been officially granted, and now it's just sitting there, waiting to unleash itself into society.
I was involved, and a lot of people, a lot of broadcasters, TV presenters we were all fooled at one stage by the government. Remember I did that dumb song?
Yeah.
Get Vax Baby. Oh, I thought I was doing the right thing. A lot of people thought I got paid. I was like, I'm going to get paid. I was trying like everyone else to get the message out that we were told was imperative. What about when the government knew that even if we got the vaccine, we could still get COVID and we could still pass it on. But they never told us that.
And even when they used to do the COVID death count, and they used to include, like, if you died in a car accident, but you had COVID.
Yes, that's right.
You would be put down as a COVID.
Yes,
death.
and that's
true.
That's true though, Brooklyn.
But ScoMo came
did
and
happen.
admitted it on our show.
That did actually happen.
Like, who gives a fuck about all this vaccine? I just don't care. It's 5 years ago.
Do you know who cares? The people who suffered for getting the vaccine.
Fuck the vaccine.
Oh,
I'm glad I can say that now because we had a woke censor and ACMA rules.
The rest of us took it and have just moved on with our lives.
No, that's me. I'm the winner. I didn't get vaccinated. I didn't give a fuck what you did, right? That's your choice.
I was involved.
So I'm not sure if you're aware, but there was a total solar eclipse that just happened very recently. And it swept all through Europe. So this guy in Austria recorded the eclipse, and he couldn't see evidence of the moon being in front of the sun at all. Do you really think that's the moon eclipsing the sun? Because if the moon was a physical rock, then you would simply see a rock in front of the moon. But you don't. The sun just becomes black. And have you heard of the impossible eclipse? It's a lunar eclipse where the sun and the moon are both over the horizon, but the moon still becomes eclipsed. This has happened many, many times throughout history. And according to the globe model, a lunar eclipse is when the Earth is directly in between the sun and the moon. So if they're both over the horizon at the same time, then that's not possible. That's why it's called an impossible eclipse. And also Google the three-body problem. We can perfectly predict the orbit of the Earth around the sun, but when we add the third body, the moon, we actually can't predict the orbit of these three. Entertainment only.
And that might sound shocking. It does sound very shocking. Every senior member of our cabinet, and actually I think pretty much every senior Labour politician, certainly over the last 25 years, have been members of the Fabian Society. And for those who don't know, the Fabian Society is a secretive organisation who believe in communism through evolution, not revolution. Their logo is a wolf in sheep's clothing. That says it all. That says a lot. And then when you look at the UK, what's happening and what's happened, certainly in the last 25 years, if you look at it through a Marxist or a communist lens, things start to come into focus of what's actually happening. Going away from the investment world, you look at the deliberate destruction of families, the deliberate destruction of religion. These are all communist tactics, if you like, because under a communist regime, the only thing that matters is the state. The state provides, the state is all. And you start to sort of join the dots on this, and you think, okay, this is what we're up against.
I think we are close to a world where you can have like a descendant of ChatGPT watch your computer screen all of the time, watch every meeting you're in, like record every call, everything like that, have perfect context of your whole life, everything you see, you choose what information you want it to have, but it can like go, you can connect it to your texts or email or docs or Slack or whatever. And then you have this thing that is not making decisions for you. But if you're like the CEO of a startup, there's always like more stuff to do than you can do, and context you can't all keep track of. You can't like read every piece of customer feedback every day. And you can just have this thing that's like working alongside you. And as you're like typing out a sales pitch to a customer or like writing a strategy doc, it'll just say like, hey, maybe here's another idea, or I think you're making a mistake here. You should consider this, or I can do this thing for you to help. And like this, I think we're only like one model generation away from this actually being incredibly useful. And I think that will change, hopefully, at least for me, change the way I work.
What's your best guess on timing?
Like sometime in the next 6 months.
Take a look at this truck spilling meat all over the highway in North Carolina. Now, do you see the name of this truck? Bumgarner Services. Now, oddly enough, in North Carolina, there is a business called Bumgarner Family Funeral Service. That's a coincidence, right? What about when Daddy Trump decided to throw that Halloween party? And he had a very weird Halloween costume pull up to get candy. You see, the McDonald's sign says billions and billions served, but there are 2 kids in the stroller. That is also just a coincidence. Just like this really old and creepy McDonald's commercial where he's pulling things out of the food bag and he ends up pulling a child out of the bag. Well, it pops up on its own. But do you not find that to be a little bit weird? Especially considering...
I had this conversation with a good friend a long time ago, and he kept saying, you need to watch the news. I said, why? Because you want to know about the wars? I said, why? And I said something a long time ago, and I'll say it again. I can't do anything about, what am I getting on a boat and running over there? I'm like, hey, everyone, chill out. Faith, family, friends. If you can't keep that circle together, your nose and your business shouldn't be telling everyone what's going on outside.
Straight up, if this don't change your mind about the ancient Egyptians, there's no hope for you. This large granite box carved by the Egyptians is on display at the Cairo Museum, which, by the way, granite is hard as harder than steel, and we typically use diamond-tipped electric buzzsaws to cut through it these days. So this box was abandoned by the Egyptians due to this mistake in the cut. Now wait, hold up. I want you to think about this for a sec. Modern explanations claim that the methods ancient Egyptians used to cut granite involved painfully slow and repetitive sawing techniques using copper tools. Don't you think they would have noticed a mistake like this way sooner if they were actually using those snail-pace techniques? Cut like this would have taken several hours, if not days of work, and there's no way they would have done it for that long without noticing this error. They were way smarter than that. Like seriously, the top Egyptologists claimed this is how they cut granite back then. A rate of 4 millimeters per hour, and they're still standing by it. Clearly, the people cutting this block would have booked this mistake much earlier in the process. And they'd have no reason to continue sawing the granite for hours or even days longer as soon as they saw this inaccuracy. Unless they were using some other unknown cutting technique, one that is far quicker than our history books suggest, and possibly far more advanced than even our diamond-tipped buzzsaws. Hey, yo, I gotta go. Hey, check this out.
But I do think we have a version of our original sun. Down here in Florida, I'm seeing it as more yellow. I'm feeling it as a more warm, natural heat these days, and then like the heat feels different to me.
People are claiming that the sun is more yellow ever since CERN shut down. It shut down its Large Hadron Collider on June 29th, 2026. People online are claiming that the sun seems more yellow, it seems more energetic, and just overall more familiar.
Back to the timeline where the sun is yellow. You had to go on a little detour timeline for a little bit, but you're back. Welcome back. We missed you.
Was this far-fetched? I don't know, but we did have a total solar eclipse August 12th of 2026. Also had a lot of celestial events happen that day. A lot of people are connecting this to CERN shutting down. Now, we do have a lot of worldwide anomalies that are happening in weather all around the world. Anything to do with CERN shutting down this Large Hadron Collider, I don't know. People are saying that they're noticing strange weather anomalies, and they're saying that the sun seems a little bit more yellow, like in our older timeline. honestly, let me know, because this is an interesting topic. I never thought about it, but since August 12th with all these anomalies, and June 29th when they shut down the Hadron Collider, I don't know. I can't say definitely. Let me know.
The Federal Trade Commission studied whether companies secretly charge you a different price than the person next to you. And the answer is yes. They pulled documents straight from the middlemen who build this stuff. I'm talking about MasterCard, Accenture, McKinsey, and a bunch of other pricing shops that you've never heard of, like Pros and Revonics. The inputs those companies could wire into your price include your precise location, your browsing history, and even how your mouse moves across the page and what you left sitting in your cart. This is called surveillance capitalism. Your behavior is the raw material, and the finished product is the final number that you're willing to pay for. Companies like this are the exact motivation behind the project I'm building called Paranoia. It scores every company you use based off of how much of your privacy and data they give away, the fine print you agree to but never read, and it's all backed up with the receipts to prove it in just one place. You can check it out through the link in my bio, but as always, think about it, let me know what you think, follow me.
We live in a crazy world where people get so upset when their order gets wrong that they get physical with fast food workers. But I'm here to remind you that not every fast food worker is trying to make a career out of this. So when you get pissed off that they messed up your burger and you throw a fist, well, guess what? Some of these guys have nothing to lose.
Shirley has had enough of the BS as she opens fire, delivering complimentary hot, fresh lettuce nuggets. My God!
So today we're taking a quick look at kick-ass customer service.
Well, Karen wanted to speak to the manager, but she'll get the final boss instead, unleashing the beast. Now grounding and quarter pounding her face into hamburger oblivion, tosses her up like a friggin' Caesar salad. Pissed off they gave her a regular Coke instead of diet after ordering 6 cheeseburgers. Breasts exposed and starting shit when your clothes don't even fit, girl. Manager was like, I was trying to save you, now I'm gonna take your ass out and tag team your ass. Well, Karen's pissed off once again because she can't mix slushy drinks. It's a policy. Go to fucking 7-Eleven if you don't like it. So instead of walking away, what does Karen do? She fills up her glass of ice water just to throw it on the final boss, but instead that backfires. Nadine's like, you think I get paid enough to deal with your bullshit, huh, Karen? Now grounding and pounding her hard-headed dome, and her weave isn't coming off quite yet. This is an unbelievable moment. Should have got some fighting experience at Waffle House before you try and take on Nadine. Well, apparently Discount Uncle Phil is pissed off that they messed up his order here at Burger King, taking the commercial literally, thinking that he can have it his way. Discount Uncle Phil all hyped up on that Thunderbird running through his veins. Last thing you need to do is mess with fast food workers. They got nothing to lose. This is a transition job, and he's about to transition to go outside here. And all hell is about to break loose as the manager finally hits center stage, and down goes Discount Uncle Phil. My God! His Windows operating system just shut down. It is now rebooting just in time to get shut down once again. And Discount Timberland is getting back to his feet. Just stay down for the love of God, man. King Karen gets back up trying to have it his way, and that's exactly what he gets right on the snot locker. Knees buckle like a newborn deer. His flux capacitor is obviously damaged and now traveling to Goo Goo Gaga land. Sucker slap from Karen because she's pissed off about her sandwich, but now she's going to get a plentiful amount of knuckle sandwiches served to her dough. I mean, what kind of idiot asshole do you need to be to slap somebody because they got...
The purest joy in Islam is to kill and be killed for Allah. See, the only way they can know for sure they're going to heaven is to kill an infidel. Does the Quran promote peaceful religion? No, it says in Surah 9, make war on the unbelievers and hypocrites and deal rigorously with them. Make war on them until idolatry shall cease and God's religion reigns supreme. Slay the idolaters wherever you find them. Take them captive and besiege them and lay in wait for them in every ambush. Fight against those who do not embrace the true faith until they pay tribute out of hand and are utterly subdued. You either pay the tax or you get killed. A few Islamic assaults on infidels. 1972 Olympics. Israeli athletes were massacred. 1979, embassy in Tehran was taken over and 52 hostages were held for a year. 1983, the Marine barracks in Beirut were blown up, killing 241 soldiers. I bet they taught you about that in Marine training, didn't they? Yep. 1989, Pan Am flight was bombed, killing 270 people, done by Muslims. 1993, they bombed the World Trade Center. 1998, U.S. embassies bombed in Kenya, 200 dead, 4,000 injured. 2001, the World Trade Center was reduced to rubble and killed 3,000 people. This is what the Muslims have done. Okay? Allah told Muhammad and all those who opposed his message they should be killed or should be nailed to a tree or their hands and legs should be cut off. That's what the book teaches. You can read it for yourself. I'm commanded to, love your enemies, pray for those who persecute you. Let's see. When you meet and fight against those who disbelieve, smite at their necks until, when you have killed and wounded many of them. See, this jihad is offensive against anybody who won't convert. It's not a defensive religion like they tell you. It's offensive. The purest joy in Islam is to kill and be killed for Allah. See, the only way they can know for sure they're going to heaven is to kill an infant.
It says that in Proverbs 7:22, where it says basically, like, if you borrow money, you are a slave to the lender.
So I just say this. So for you to pay a tiny little bit more for your gasoline, just remember you're doing it so that a very evil country cannot have, a country really, it's the #1 state sponsor of terror in the world. We don't want to have them have a nuclear weapon. So remember that when you have to pay a little bit more, you're at $4. It's okay. I mean, it's, I'll never apologize. I did the right thing.
There it is, one of the most evil legislations that was ever passed. The 1939 Cancer Act. Basically what this is it made it illegal, a criminal offense for doctors and healthcare workers to actually help cure cancer, to recommend things that would cure cancer. So this was passed in England in 1939, but it was pushed worldwide. It's still in effect today in Canada, America. This is why when you go to see a doctor, they will recommend chemo or their very expensive treatments, but they can't say this herb will help or this or soursop or or like ivermectin or something like that. They can't recommend that stuff legally. So they could get not only fired and lose their license, they could literally be charged and sued because of this. So in my opinion, this is one of the most evil legislations that